For all the people coming to Paris for the Olympics this summer, I have one question for you. Why? Let's talk about that. I have no idea what stopped filming. I keep getting a memory card error. But anyways, I was talking about how it's going to be mentally challenging for me because I live right near Mars, which is where a lot of the events are going to take place. And that's where I spend a lot of my time after work to like think, listen to music, right? It's also a social hour for me because I end up usually meeting a lot of tourists that speak English. And it's just a very vital time for me. It's one of the things I love about summer here is that everyone comes out of hibernation. And that's going to dissipate a little bit this summer. It's going to render a little useless. Because everyone's going to be fleeing my neighborhood now to try and watch the Eiffel Tower instead of being on that park. So it's going to be an interesting time. Anyways, we can talk a little bit. I have 4 main reasons, and I also wrote a little article. I think I put it on my blog, which I'll also link before, about if you're thinking of coming to Paris for the Olympics. I really highly suggest that you do not. So the first thing is public transport. This is something that my friends and I talk about. I don't know what it is, but the past year in Paris, metros have become so crowded. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if it's because they're constantly doing work, so there are less cars going around, but just basic lines, like line 8 is always packed all hours of the day. It'll be Tuesday at 11 in the morning and the metro's nearly full. And then you could forget about trying to go at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. rush hour and people coming home. I mean, I've had plans with people where I'm trying to get on line 8 and I literally can't get on the train because it's so packed to the brim. I took a video the other day and that's not even packed to the brim, like because it was, I don't know, 6 o'clock on Easter Sunday, so that was kind of an exception because a lot of people aren't even in Paris this weekend. If I ever find a video, I will try to make another video to show it because I've actually never attempted to take out my phone when I see it that crowded because I'm scared of pickpocketing, etc., even though I live here. But trust me when I say I have been in the metro as someone barely 5 feet and I will be swallowed. My cheek will be up against the window like you are contorting your body just to fit any way you can in there. And it's not made to welcome 2 million. I think it's more like 11 million. It's either 2 million or no, I think it's 11 million people they're expecting to visit this summer. Probably not all at the same time, but I think over the course of the Olympics, maybe even throughout September with the Para-Olympics, I think, with the additional games that they're going to do. That's one thing, that Paris is not ready public transportation-wise to accommodate that many people. There was a whole thing with bed bugs in the fall. It's true, like I freaked out the other day because I think I had a bed bug on a piece of cardboard that I'm working on an art project on. Thankfully, I've looked in my bed, I don't see anything. And that was even, like, I hadn't been on the metro in a week, and I think I found one. So it is cause for concern, and it's bed bugs come from travelers. They come from hopping onto your luggage, and then they're getting on the metro. And a lot of the metros in Paris have cushioned seats. They have fabric seats that they do hide in there. Public transportation-wise, this city, I love it, but it's not ready for the Olympics. And anyone who lives here can concur with that. Number 2 is that everything is still under construction, and nothing will probably be ready by the time they think it's going to be ready. For instance, I came to Paris a month after the fire of Notre Dame in 2019. It is 5 years later and it looks exactly the same. I've been living here since 2021 and it still has a big crane. Like, it just looks like nothing's happened to it, and they said, oh, it'll be ready like 5 years from now. It's already 5 years later. Depressingly enough, you know, it's nowhere near done. For French, like, if you've never lived here, it's more like due dates are not really a hard deadline the way it is for like a New Yorker or other people. Like, it's more like a suggestion. Like, put it in the suggestion box, and that's how it is for a lot of things. I mean, put some B-roll here. Just anywhere you go in the city, especially downtown, like in the first arrondissement, the second arrondissement, there's so much construction on streets. They're like putting in all these weird new, like very touristic, like donut shops and crepe stands and color things that don't look traditional Parisian or French, I believe, to accommodate the tourists that are going to be here. There's just construction every which way. Even in my own neighborhood, I have a street that I'll go for a run. I'll take a video when I go for a run later today if the rain ever decides to stop, where the street has been under construction for the past 6 months and probably to accommodate for tourists, but it's nowhere near done. Like, it's been like that for months. That's another big reason why the city is not ready to welcome people, because there's so much construction going on right now and none of it's done. And it's not me saying, like, look, other big cities, New York, Tokyo, London, they're also probably always under construction. New York is always under construction. Like, things get taken down as fast as they get put up. But this is different as in the way that this construction, it's going to impact people's mobility. Like, you can't walk, and it's already bad with locals here, it's is off. We're not even, I think it's barely shoulder season now that it's April. I can't imagine what it's going to be like with millions of additional people trying to walk the street, even like hundreds. You can't. Paris is such a dense city, so to have certain big streets like Rue Rivoli under construction and components of it under construction, it's really going to have an impact on how people get around and the joy of being here. And that's another thing why Paris is not ready. I don't know. Paris is best explored and wandered by foot. It depicts the beauty of getting lost, and I feel that art is going to be lost itself in the midst of the Olympics. And I think that a lot of tourists that come here are going to be very dissatisfied with what they find when they come here. Paris is not going to be its normal state till like September, like till after all the Olympic stuff is over. 3 is housing and accommodation. So I'm really intrigued. If you're coming for the Olympics, I want to know. I'm very interested because Paris is already a difficult city to find housing in, period. I don't understand how there are enough hotels, how enough people are subletting, how they're like, I think Airbnb is illegal in the city actually now. I don't understand how Paris thinks that it's apt to like house as many people as it's trying to welcome. I do know that they built the Olympic Village as like a renewable energy kind of housing that I think is going to house, if I'm not mistaken, like 15,000 people after the Olympics are over. If I'm correct, I don't think it's inside Paris. I think it's right outside of Paris. 15,000 is kind of just like making it's not even making a dent in it, right? That's barely accommodating the vast majority of people that are trying to come. I remember a couple months ago, I literally got a text to my phone like in French, like, hey, are you staying for the Olympics? Sublet your apartment for the Olympics today and get, profit from this. And I remember thinking, oh my God, yeah, this is going to be crazy. And I have a bunch of friends that are, I think, subletting their apartments and just not going to be here. Okay, for the last one, why I really think the city is not ready for the Olympics. That it's trying to, so if you don't know, Paris has been trying to mask a lot of the homeless people. I wrote this in the article. I wrote about why if you're thinking of coming to Paris for the Olympics, maybe you should consider rescheduling your trip. They're trying to get a lot of what they call SDF here in France, homeless people on the streets. So then it doesn't appear to tourists that Paris has a homeless problem, even though in reality it really does. And I've been walking around and I still see plenty of them on the streets. I don't know where they hide, so then authorities don't find them. But, it's just Paris is trying really hard to clean up its look, kind of tidy it up, to ranger c'est nécessaire. And the Olympics are like under 4 months from now. I don't see how Paris will pull it all together in time. But that's it. Those are my thoughts. I think I really expressed my sentiments clear in the article that I wrote, and you can go take a look at that. But I just wanted to start a conversation. What do you guys think? Because I personally don't think Paris is ready to host the Olympics. I'm very well aware that cities have to demonstrate that they're able to host the Olympics, like economically, socially, how they're going to protect people who visit. But part of me really does think that maybe Paris got it, because if you didn't know, Paris did host the Olympics in 1924. This marks exactly 100 years later, so it's kind of like a nice full circle thing. But I'm not sure if that was still the right move and if Paris is the most apt city to be handling this, because something like, if I'm not mistaken, I think Rio is a really big city, like 10 times the size of Paris. Cities like London have a lot of housing outside. That's, London's not a dense city. Paris is just such a small, dense city. It's like trying to think of host the Olympics in San Francisco or Manhattan. That'd be very challenging. I don't know. So what do you guys think about Paris hosting the Olympics? I have not felt 100% lately, so I haven't been motivated to do anything, but I did want to film this, and I'm going to try and put as much B-roll in as I can since I couldn't film it outside. And let me know what you think about Paris hosting the Olympics, and I'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and see you later. Bye.